Hey there, friends. Welcome to our awesome YouTube channel, Dog World and You. I'm Rex, one of the hosts, and here with me is Max, a fantastic member of our Dog World and You community, bringing his expertise in dog psychology.
Hi everyone. Today we've got a special guest to introduce, Charlie. She's this amazing dog who found her forever home from a shelter but faced some challenges settling into her new home. Additionally, we'll dive into a discussion about the different types of dogs you find in shelters: feral, strays, and those surrendered by owners. We'll discuss their behaviors, how they survive, the struggles they face when adapting to new places, and the difficulties new pet parents might encounter.
We'll introduce training methods that can be a game changer, plus emphasize the importance of understanding a dog's past to help them settle comfortably into their new homes. So, stick around for some valuable insights into helping dogs like Charlie adjust and thrive.
Allow me to introduce Charlie, a 7-month-old Jack Russell Terrier mix. She recently found her forever home from the shelter, but let me tell you, she brought some chaos while trying to settle in. This girl arrived at her new home with a motto of "let's spice things up" and drove her new family crazy. When things got rough, guess who they called for backup? Yep, you got it. Rex and me. We're here to discuss integrating this shelter sweetheart into her family.
It's a tail-wagging topic, especially for those who've opened their homes to a rescue furry friend or are thinking about it. Get ready for some tips and tricks, folks.
But hold the kibble. Before we dive into all that, let's raise our paws and give a huge shout out to all the kind-hearted souls providing loving homes to animals in need. Your goodness truly warms my whiskers and reminds me of my own furry tail. Adopted at 1 year old by our amazing trainer Tetiana and her loving family. Now, at 12 years old, I'm proudly part of the Dog World and You community.
Oh, Max, your story's like a Pup Euler novel. Stay tuned, folks, because Max's adventures are a tale of their own. But for now, let's talk about shelter dogs. There are so many dogs with different backgrounds in shelters. What does your research say about that?
Well, when it comes to homeless dogs, they can usually be categorized into two groups: feral dogs and stray dogs. Additionally, a significant portion of dogs in shelters comprises those surrendered by their owners.
What's the difference between feral and stray dogs?
Oh, it's a big difference. Feral dogs are the ones that have become wild after being domesticated. They don't interact with people much, kind of like coyotes or foxes. They're active at night, live in small groups, and can communicate with people from a distance. But they're pretty tricky to study and catch because they roam across large areas and are very suspicious.
Max, how do they become feral if they were domesticated before?
There are a few ways that can happen. For instance, pups born in abandoned places without any human contact can grow up feral. Also, those from puppy mills, where dogs and their pups rarely receive human care, tend to develop feral tendencies. Abuse or neglect can also push a dog into that feral state. When dogs only experience negativity from humans, it ramps up their fear and pushes them toward.
It's really tough, Max, seeing those dogs struggling and turning feral, but what's the deal with stray dogs?
Oh, the world of stray dogs is absolutely fascinating. Those streetwise pups, especially around industrial areas, they've got some serious survival tactics. You know, some of these dogs hang around places like warehouses and team up with people like security guards who toss them a bone. They become super protective of their territory.
I've seen those kinds, Max. They make a fuss if you step into their turf. They can get pretty aggressive towards intruders. But I've also met city street dwellers, and I can spot a different behavior pattern in them. Is that right, Max?
Some of these stray dogs are pretty chill around people and can be real friendly, but they don't really form that deep bond with humans like the ones who have someone looking out for them. They're experts at using people to get what they need, begging for food, tagging along, but they don't see humans as their social pals. They're all about doing their own thing. Even when they have puppies, they stash them away in secret spots. unlike the ones with guardians, who tend to have their pups in places closer to people, especially their protectors.
How do they manage on the streets?
Oh, they've got it all figured out. These real street-savvy dogs, they've got their shelters, know where the food's at. But you know what's sad? Dogs that get lost very rarely integrate into these street packs, and they struggle to survive. If they do get a chance to return to people, it's usually their best shot at making it.
Hey, Max, how long do you think a lost dog can make it out there?
Well, for a lost dog, the big deal is having enough food and water. If they don't stay hydrated, they might only hang on for a few days. That's why it's super important to lend a hand to stray animals by giving them food and water until they can get the right help. Those lost dogs from homes are the most at risk on the streets. They just don't have the skills to survive out there.
You know, Max, I've heard some scary stories about family dogs not wanting to return home after being out on the streets. Is that really a thing?
Yeah, it happens, Rex. It's usually with adopted stray dogs who got used to making their own decisions out there. They can sometimes cause a bit of a mess at home and show unwanted behaviors because they're stressed adjusting to new rules. Living by human rules can be really tough for them. Some dogs become pretty independent on the streets and actually enjoy it, especially if they find what they need. They might even develop what's called lost dog syndrome and resist going back home or try to run away again.
Are there any other reasons behind dogs ending up in shelters?
Oh, absolutely, Rex. Another category is owner surrenders. This happens when owners can't keep their pets due to various reasons like money problems or behavior issues. It's tough, you know? Sometimes pets need more care than their owners can manage, so they end up at a shelter.
Max, when new owners get a dog from a shelter, it can be a bit of a mystery figuring out their past, right? How do they even know what they're dealing with?
Let's start with feral dogs. They're actually super scared of humans, like really, really scared. They won't even attack when they're afraid. Instead, they kind of try to disappear or flatten themselves down when they're forced to be around people. It's all because they don't understand humans.
What can you tell me about stray dogs and how owners can understand how to deal with them?
Well, when we're talking about dogs that used to have guardians, their adaptation period might be easier compared to dogs who never had someone looking out for them and relied on people for resources. But both types can face challenges adjusting to home life due to their independent nature. To make this adjustment easier for dogs like them, new dog parents need to seek professional help and give the dogs opportunities to make some decisions on their own. But because all dogs are different and come from various backgrounds, there isn't a one-size-fits-all solution for them.
What about owner surrenders? How do you even know if a dog was given up by its owner?
Well, shelters usually keep pretty good records on the animals they take in. They can give you loads of info about a dog's past owners, and they might even spill the beans on reasons for surrender, behaviors, health stuff, or any other issues. Helps a bunch to be prepared when welcoming a new furry family member, right?
So, does that mean the new owner is going to get all the good and bad behavior traits with this pup?
Totally. Taking in an owner-surrendered dog is a bit like adopting a child who had their own experiences, whether good or bad, before coming into your life.
Max, I've been thinking a lot about Charlie, and in my opinion, she seems to fit into the category of dogs who might have been lost or kicked out of their homes.
What makes you say that, Rex?
Well, I've considered various factors and information from her new owner, along with Charlie's behavior patterns. Her new family had a tough time setting rules because they didn't exist for Charlie. She faced every possible behavior issue at home, resisted leash training, and her behavior outside was unpredictable. She'd ignore her owner, but be overly friendly, almost annoyingly so, with strangers. And whenever she saw other dogs, she'd go into an extreme barking frenzy. Basically, despite her cute appearance, Charlie took charge of the whole house, leaving her owners at her beck and call. Her human parents were not happy at all with this situation and reached out to us for help after multiple attempts to regain control.
Oh yeah, I remember meeting Charlie for the first time. She was causing such a commotion, barking away. When she arrived, it was like she owned the place. Charlie was a handful. I wouldn't be surprised if her previous owners either kicked her out or felt relieved when she ran away. It must have been quite overwhelming for them.
You know, our trainer had a tough time getting Charlie to listen. She was used to being in charge and resisted learning obedience commands.
Oh, really? So, what did our trainer do when the standard programs didn't work?
Well, it's pretty normal for different dogs to respond differently to training based on their age, temperament, and environment. The key was for the trainer to understand why Charlie wasn't obeying and find a way to motivate her to learn without force.
That makes sense. So, what did the trainer do for Charlie then?
Our trainer really nailed it. Charlie got some freedom, and every time she showed the behavior our trainer wanted, she got rewarded. Eventually, Charlie figured out that behaving well led to rewards, as if it was her own brilliant idea.
Research actually backs this up. When dogs feel involved and have some say in their actions during training, they become more engaged. They start thinking actively instead of simply following commands. By understanding the outcomes of their actions, they willingly repeat behaviors to earn those rewards. Giving them freedom within limits also builds trust between the dog and the trainer.
Totally. Max, giving dogs freedom doesn't mean chaos. It's important to set clear boundaries and communicate well. That way, the freedom fits into the training goals. This way, dogs feel empowered and engaged while learning.
You know, this training method can be really effective, but it's got its downsides.
Oh, really? What are they, Max?
Well, for starters, it can eat up a lot of time compared to more direct training methods. Also, it's not the best for teaching complex behaviors or actions with many steps. Dogs might find it tough to figure out the exact sequence without clearer guidance.
Yeah, every method has its ups and downs. It might not fit every dog or training situation perfectly, but I'm glad it helped Charlie become a better dog for her new family.
You know, Charlie's family is over the moon with her transformations, seeing awesome results. They're really sticking to reinforcing all those behaviors she learned at home, too.
Oh, absolutely. Remember when Charlie hung out with us at Dog World and you for a few days while her family took a break? I couldn't believe the change in her. She turned into this entirely different and super obedient dog, following all the rules of our facility. It's amazing. Hats off to Charlie and our trainer.
Hey, as we finish up our video today, I just wanted to shout out to all you amazing folks out there who've adopted dogs or are considering it. You know, sometimes things might not go as planned, but that's totally okay. With Rex here, we're hoping to shed light on the tough backgrounds and challenging experiences shelter dogs often face. If you ever feel like you and your furry friend could use a bit more guidance, don't worry. We're here for you, making more videos focused on shelter dogs and tips for successful adoptions.
Absolutely. We're all in on this mission and truly believe that education can really make a difference. Every single being deserves that second chance, and we're committed to making that happen.
Definitely. So, remember to subscribe, like, share, and recommend our channel to your pals. We'll catch you in the next video.